Hey cool kids, today is the, second, third, I should probably have checked. It's the beginning of July 2023 and me and the family are heading to Ipswich Music Day. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it and share the day with you. It's a music festival that happens in Ipswich every year, unless there's a pandemic, and it's huge. There have been times where there've been nearly as many people at Ipswich Music Day as actually live in Ipswich Music Day. You know, I mean, it's like the whole population goes, but I'm sure they don't. But I always see a lot of people who don't normally go to music festivals there. And I kind of always want to think, well, if we can find those people and convince them that there's live music other times a year, then we could get something really special going. But it's a cool thing. I think it's paid for by the council. I'm not massively sure. It's in Christchurch Park and it's always rammed. I've played there a bunch of times myself. Haven't played there for a while because, well, they don't like electronic music. And the band I tend to have together when these things come round is electronic. And that's a no-no for some reason. If I ever find out why, or if I find out why today, I'll let you know. The other band I'm in is Miserable Post Rock, and yeah, they don't like that. You can't do a 20-minute song with no choruses and have it go down well for a crowd of people who don't normally go to live music things. Anyway, I'll shut up now. I've got a walk to do, and I'll catch up with you when I get there. I ought to add that I'll probably interchangeably call this either Ipswich Music Day, Ip Art Festival, or Music in the Park, because I can't remember what it's actually called. And Music in the Park is what it's called colloquially. That's what we call it here in Ipswich. I've not been to this for a little while. Last time it happened in Ipswich, I was in Helsinki at a metal festival. Hey! But it's a little different to what I remember. We just walked into Christchurch Park and there's now security on the door. Like you get a big gig, checking people's bags and yeah, that's different. That noise you can hear is what they call planet something. Oh, anyway, I'm just looking in the brochure, which is really good. The program, which is kind of free. A lot of work goes into it, but I'm looking at band biogs, and they all say the same things. They say we are this, we are this, we are from there. They don't really say anything, apart from my mates, the Interesting Times gang, a band I'm friends with. And I just want to read you this because it's brilliant. It says, enjoy our space opera romance, witness our epic about the time in the 1950s when the devil made a robot, and dance to our prog punk banger about 20-storey Stan, the 50-metre man. I mean, that's a lot more interesting than saying we are a 5-piece from Colchester, isn't it? Quick correction, the band you can hear is actually Myopia. It's Planet Fatale next. To give you an idea, again, what I said about what bands put in the programme, Myopia, who actually sound decent, they can certainly play. They call themselves, their biog says, exciting young alternative band from Colchester. Tells me nothing. The next band is Planet Fatale, Fatale, and I'm more likely to see them, well I am going to see them, because there says heavy riffs, rhythmic groove and fierce melodic vocals. Tells me what I'm going to get. I'll go for some of that. Planet Fatale are pretty amazing. I'll talk more about them later, but now I'm just going to watch the rest of the set.
All right. So we're Planet Fatale. We've come from Cambridge to the absolutely beautiful sunny Ipswich today. Are you having a good day?
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing.
Right, turn off, listen.
All right.
That's the sound of Planet Fatale you can hear just behind us. We're wandering off to see something else because that's the nature of a festival. Now, for a free music festival where any band can apply to play, it's quite surprising to hear something as heavy as this. Mrs. Culture was asking me if they're metal. No, Planet Fatale are not metal, but they're about as hard as rock can get before it becomes metal. They sound-checked with something that sounded very much like Green Machine by Caius and followed that vein for most of the set. Well, they're still going now. But they're sort of verging on... It's like Caius playing AC/DC or something. They've got really, really tight riffs, but then when the verses come along, they sort of wander a bit. I mean, I get it, it's good, because it brings up the tension for when the riff comes back, but... Well, good, I've got nothing bad to say, I'm not going to shit on them. I saw Planet Fatale for free at a free festival, and they have been grinning from ear to ear. Good work. One last note on Planet Fatale. Vocals were way too loud in the mix. Cracking vocalist. I mean, that kind of band really is made or broken by the quality and the character of the voice. And it was certainly there, but just way too loud. Portaloos is surprisingly clean. Not too shabby. Just found out that Ipswich Music Day is in fact the largest free music festival in the whole of the UK. So well done, Ipswich. Nice one. Interested to see on the lineup, there's a lot of acts that have come from other towns, from Colchester, Cambridge, nearby places. Come on, Ipswich bands, where are you? Represent. There are obviously a few Ipswich bands, but there used to be so many in Ipswich. Where have they gone, or am I just getting old and can't see them? Nope, that can't possibly be the reason. Even if you don't like whatever music's being played, we're walking along around thousands of people singing along just as they're going about their business. Now, obviously, covers bands are really not our thing at Beat Motel Podcast, but joy is, and there's a lot of joy here. This is very cool. Down on the pod stage, one I've played on before, we can hear there is Moon Street. Unfortunately, I missed... oh, excuse me, sorry about that. I missed my mate's band, Fisticuffs, unfortunately. But Moon Street say they are 50% pop punk, 25% ska and 25% hip hop. Not heard a lot of hip hop so far, but there's quite a resurgence of pop punk at the moment, which that ain't a bad thing. But quite fun actually. But we're walking away because I want a burrito. Behind us is Polly Haynes, who I think's local. She's one of a kind of a batch of loads of young singer-songwriters. I think they're basically coming out of music courses at colleges, incredibly competent, like nothing you've ever heard before. Years ago, even if you're a singer-songwriter, you'd probably flail around for about 10 years until you got your band together. But it's great, these people are now coming out of college with bands, sounding fully formed. Or does that mean that we've lost the anarchy and the unintended consequences of trying to mishmash a band together? No, I don't think it does. I think it's, how can it not be positive? People are able to study music and form bands. More of it. £4.50 for an ice cream. £4.50. And that was a medium. A large, I assume you just have to donate blood or something. And it was £3 for a bottle of Diet Coke. This might only mean something to people local to Ipswich, but I'm sat on Hippie Hill now, which is like a huge embankment in the middle of Christchurch Park, and the stage is kind of perfectly placed. It's just a very small stage. Right, the band on stage at the moment is called Arms to Oblivion, who, not my kind of metal, kind of bolt thrower, modern shouty metal, no groove. They're doing it very well. The guy's voice is cracking. Just not for me, which is the lamest review ever. There's a huge crowd. Classic kind of British thing though. Free gig, massive crowd. No one really is within about 50 metres of the actual stage. Everyone's on picnic blankets, all spread out like it's still COVID or something. There's people nodding along. There's like a hardcore group of metalers down the front having a great time. My daughter has naffed off and is playing inside a massive tree next to the stage. So all these people watching a metal band, watching Arms to Oblivion, and the tree next to them is shaking around because it's got my daughter in it doing I don't know what. Oh, and if I didn't mention it before, my daughter is here dressed as a dinosaur today.
Like some cold water.
We're kind of heading home now. It's been good. There's a lot of metal here, and there really didn't used to be. I remember Ipswich was very much a metal town, where it felt that way when I first got into the music scene at some point in the early 90s. Maybe we're going back to that kind of thing. But for a free festival, it's great. No complaints. I mean, what could you complain about? There's tens of thousands of people. I think the numbers for the last one before COVID was 70,000 people. So 70,000 people coming out, enjoying music, massive community thing, no aggro, everyone's cheerful, naturally a lot of drunk people, but a lot of families. Sound is really good this year on all stages I've seen. I mean, as a summary for a review on a festival, I haven't really got anything that exciting to say. It's good, innit? I mean, the music choice apart from perhaps some of the metal, is incredibly conservative. The other stages are covers bands, those sort of blues bands that just sound like all the other blues bands. But, you know, they're appealing to a lot of people. Anyway, that's it. Oh, we've walked past where we're going to go. So, there you go. Wrapping up another episode. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next episode. As Sam said, actually, I'll just tell you, as Sam said in the last episode, he's taken a break for a few weeks due to summer and parenting and all that jazz. So we are going to try out a few new ideas. So stay subscribed. Something interesting is about to happen. Anyway, this has been Andrew for Beat Motel. Smell you later. Emma, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Izzy, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye.